Welcome, breast.
Welcome. Say breast.
Wait, who said that?
Oh,
I
what a
didn't say
bitch. What a bitch. Welcome the fuck back to motherfucking Memory Leak. We are professionals.
Episode 2 in our second 100 batch.
Episode
Set a bicentennial.
This is the second season. No, it's not, because we've been doing this for like 2 years. 3 years?
It's been a while.
It's been a
Longer
while.
than that, I
What
think.
the fuck? It doesn't feel like
We
it.
should go back and listen to the first episode.
I don't want to do that.
No, I don't need it.
I really don't want to do that. All right. This is fucking Memory Leak. You already fucking know it, baby. I am Geron, image retention Geron.
Benjamin snaking to Benjamin.
There you go. All right. But there's stuff to talk about. There were a couple of presentations that have gone on over the past week. This is like E3 month technically.
Yeah, we can finally get into some of those.
We can kind of talk about that.
Oh yeah, there was a Capcom one. I didn't watch the Capcom one.
There was a Capcom one.
All.
I didn't watch it either. And that's my fault.
Let's see if there's a press release. I'll find it.
I believe they showed stuff they showed at like Summer Game Fest and stuff that they showed in other places. I don't think there was anything new. Like Resident Evil 9, we know about that. That looks like it's going to be not good as shit. It's fully canonizing the Outbreak games, and I am interested in playing the game on launch. I was gonna not buy Resident Evil Village on launch day, and I ended up buying it anyway. So I can see
Chill.
So I'm not going to pretend that I'm not going to get this the day it comes out. God damn it, though, it is going to be $70.
That's the standard.
Yeah, that's the standard.
It's time to stop complaining about $70.
Yeah. It's not a complaint. It's just
time to start complaining about $80.
Yeah.
It's time to start complaining about Outer Worlds 2.
Outer Worlds 2 being fucking $80, which is crazy. I'm not complaining about Mario Kart being $80 because I got it for $50. But
they kind of
I don't think about
they kind of fucked pricing by sort of like backdooring it.
Exactly. Yeah. So is this a rundown?
This was just the very high level.
They did show they showed the Sagat trailer, the Sagat like teaser for Street Fighter 6. We already know what new characters are coming for the new season of Street Fighter 6. But I think Sagat being in the game is important. I wish Sagat was always there day one. It's a little exhausting.
Yeah, he's such an iconic motherfucker.
Yeah, he's the boss of Street Fighter 1.
Right.
And they brought back Bison.
Before Sagat.
They brought back Bison before Sagat, which I think they could have just left Bison dead. Sagat should have just been there in some form. That would have been great. But whatever. Sagat's here now. I'm still not going to forget when Guile was DLC in Street Fighter 5. But I also got that with the free fight money. Pragmata looks fun.
Pragmatismata.
I've seen people speculate that it's a secret Mega Man game. It's not. That's the stupidest thing.
It doesn't look
I've
anything
ever
like
heard.
a Mega Man game. It just looks like an action game.
Yeah, I'm impressed that it's an action game when they were kind of revealing it slowly and holding it back. I thought it was going to be something a little bit more slow, something more in the vein of Death Stranding, not necessarily like Death Stranding, but like
just because of the aesthetics or what?
Yeah, in the vein of like a slower pace, thoughtful kind of game, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But and not saying that this can't have that. But this is very clearly an action game from Capcom, which I'm completely fine with. Like over-the-shoulder shooting, just like Resident Evil, the modern Resident Evil games and all that. Yeah, perfectly fine. And that looks interesting. I'm going to give it a go. Hopefully there's a demo. Those kind of games usually require me to check
right
how it feels before I'm full in. But yeah, is this the end of the Street Fighter 6 thing?
Yep.
Yeah, because I saw a Switch 2. I was like, yeah, it's Street Fighter.
What is this? Is this Capcom Collection?
This is Fighting Collection 2. I don't know what they're talking about with it because the game's out. So maybe there's additional maybe there's something additional that's being or maybe they're just showing it off. Maybe they're just saying
it could just be another like release trailer.
Yeah, it could be because it only came out last month. Which it feels like it came out 2 months ago because there's been a console launch between there. But it came out not that long
ago. And it
ago.
had the versus SNK games?
It had CVS 1 and 2. And then
it just says available now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's just a reminder this exists. Not to mention, speaking of Switch 2, a lot of backward compatible games got fixed.
Yeah,
a lot of Switch 1 games work properly.
They've been rocking and rolling through it.
Yeah. So, and Onimusha 2 came out last month too.
Yeah.
Which I haven't bought yet. I forgot about that a little bit because
segue into Way of the Sword.
Out. Yeah,
they've got a digital sale going on.
Yep, there's a Steam sale going on right this second. Maybe not when you listen to this, but
More Resident
Evil 9,
Resident Medieval.
Monster Hunter Wilds, which people are a little
still
weird
kind
about
of
right
whatever
now.
About
adding stuff from Monster Hunter 3.
Oh,
a monster from Monster Hunter 3. The water shit, because that game was all about underwater fighting, and they took it out right after that game because the underwater fighting was fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's just a lot of DLC. That's basically
DLC,
just all.
And then DLC roadmap.
I don't think they addressed anything about like the quote poor optimization.
Yeah,
I say quote because I don't actually know from experience.
Yeah, they never
seems legitimately like bad or whatever. But
yeah, I'm certain they never will. I'm certain the game sold one way or another. It's just like Pokemon.
It's kind of interesting because I feel like the Steam reviews, because they have a both a global and a recency one, you actually do kind of get a general feel for like how people feel about a game.
A game over,
in a point in time.
Right.
And it went from positive to now globally it's mixed, and recently it's overwhelmingly negative.
And I think stuff like that is important when it comes to PC games, where the quality of the experience can be highly affected by, does this work correctly? And a lot of times PC games will not work fully.
Yeah.
The game's not optimized. Like my PC should be able to blow ass through it without too much, help.
Yeah.
Like frame generation and all that kind of stuff. But they recommend you use it. Yeah. To even use it and to even play it. Like it'll play it just fine based on the demo. But I have to do all this other shit. It's like I really shouldn't have to do that for a game like this.
Yeah.
Just like my brand new PC should be able to handle this.
Right.
But I ended up skipping Monster Hunter Wilds. I was gonna.
Have you played most Monster Hunter games?
I prefer portable Monster Hunter games.
Yeah, that seems
because it's easier for me to play them, like get into them. Rise was that. Monster Hunter 3 and 4 were that because they were on 3DS. There were the PSP games that you had to claw grip, like Freedom and all that. And so I think if Wilds comes out on Switch 2, or if there's another Monster Hunter game that's has more of the portable pacing, then I think I'm in on that. But Wilds, I'll just hold out until the price is half or less, kind of the way I bought World, which I got really late because I waited for the price to go down,
which
I have no problem doing.
Yep.
I have no problem waiting for the price to go down on games like that. I prefer to be there day one so I can get all the content and be with everybody when it's new, but you gotta pick your battles. But yeah, no, Capcom games are always good.
they've been doing really well. A lot of the third party developers have really kind of upped their game over the last couple of years.
Yeah, like I can usually look at Capcom's output and be like, okay, it's at least 80% of these games are going to be worth giving a look, if not buying.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you're looking at
Arc System
Works, who also had a presentation the other day. I think it was yesterday.
And it was kind of interesting because people that don't know any better like me always assume Arc System Works is like mostly fighting games. But no.
This
was like mostly not fighting games, which is kind of funny.
They have a lot of, especially now, they have a lot of IP that aren't fighting games. Like
just as publishing.
Even if you count Double Dragon, even though it's beat 'em up, they've had all those like Kunio-kun and the Double Dragon games to themselves for a while now.
Yep. Double Dragon Revive.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be one of those dudes. I don't think this game looks very good, but I also don't think Double Dragon's been very good in a very long time. Like very long time.
It's definitely a nostalgia hit. It's like people liked the NES game and they felt strongly about it, and that's literally all they've been riding off of because there's just so many better beat 'em ups.
Right, exactly. Like these games, the Game Boy Advance game is fun. Like Double Dragon Advance, that game is cool because it modernizes it without changing everything so much that it's unrecognizable. This has just kind of an air of what the fuck is Double Dragon?
Yeah. And this just feels like they kind of glossed over it, looking at modern things and be like, let's just slap these in.
Exactly. I think there could be
like that Contra game, Galuga or whatever.
Yeah, Operation Galuga. That has that fucking way forward stank on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I wonder how that runs on Switch 2 now, actually. Maybe I'll put the demo on there. But regardless, the game looks like it could be cool, but it also looks like it feels like shit.
Yeah.
So I'll have to get that in my hands to see if I feel one way about it. I think the last time I really enjoyed a Double Dragon game that was new-ish, speaking of way forward, ironically, was Double Dragon Neon, because I think because it kept it simple.
Yeah, I mean they always get thrown those like half-hearted revival attempts anyway.
Exactly. All the Technos IP were just like kind of, if you want to make a game with it, then you just do it. You hardly have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point like when Double Dragon Neon came out, there was a quote unquote remake of Double Dragon 2 that came out at the same time from some random developer, and they looked completely fucking different. The Double Dragon 2 remake was buggy as shit. It was the weirdest. It's just the weirdestly handled IP. I mean, there's a fucking Battletoads crossover. So, like, if I made a phone call and wanted to work on a Double Dragon game back in like the 2010s, I could have.
Probably could have, yeah.
So
they announced the game that I think looks really cool. Dear Me, I Was.
Yeah.
Which is this like spiritual successor to all the games that this guy did, like Hotel Dusk. Yeah. Another Code. I would like to play the Another Code collection that is on Switch 1.
Yeah.
I wish it would go on sale. I've had it on my wish list for a while. It just hasn't gone on sale at all.
It came out just last year, right?
Yeah, it's relatively new.
It's relatively new in the Nintendo, like Nintendo going on sale
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Another Code and Hotel Dusk were on DS. Hotel Dusk hasn't been re-released yet. I think it should. Yeah. Hopefully this does well. Maybe it'll give them a reason to. This one clearly has, well, not clearly, but it would benefit from mouse controls based on the gameplay they showed.
Right. Yeah.
And I'll be really, really sad considering it's a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive if it doesn't have mouse controls. It feels kind of insane to not do that.
Yeah, it would be completely obnoxious for it to not have touch and mouse control.
Exactly.
Like it's got to have mouse control. I'm not even going to put any caveats on that. What else was there?
Then that's the new Bubble Bobble game.
Yeah.
I don't really. It's fine. Cool. I'm happy for puzzlers.
IP exists.
Yeah.
And Taito gets to exist too through through that shit.
Yeah.
I believe this game is being published by Taito themselves in Japan, and
that's cool.
Being published by Arc System Works over here.
Demon's Night Fever. I wasn't quite sure what this game was. It didn't show any gameplay.
Weird, like top-down action game, I think. No,
that was Damon and Boy or something.
Yeah,
Damon, Damon and Baby.
Damon and Baby. Yeah. Which looks all right.
Looks all right. It looks
a lot of these games look all right. They look fine.
Yeah.
I want to have them in my hands before I can say something one way or the other. That's just how games are now.
And then they announced new Strive.
Yeah, new Strive stuff.
Character and anime stuff or whatever. So I mean, it's cool that they had enough variety of stuff to feel confident to put a showcase out.
I think that's by themselves, exactly. Like they didn't they didn't ride the coattails of any other presentation. They just did their own thing, which I feel like is unusual for Arc System Works.
Right.
And I kind of wish more publishers would do this.
I agree.
Especially now that they're like, it doesn't seem like any of them are stepping on each other's toes.
Right.
And it gives their games room to breathe when like, let's say there's a Nintendo Direct or a State of Play and you're focused on those fucking big, like, Nintendo or Sony published games.
Yeah.
And then this comes out, and unless Nintendo themselves or whatever does the presentational effort to give them a spotlight, like the Capcom collections got, you might just kind of get a gloss past these games, whereas you could get exactly the way the publisher wants you to see it and know exactly what platforms it's coming to, too. It's not just like, is it coming out on PC? Is it coming on PS4? Is it Switch exclusive? Is it PS4 exclusive? Is it PS5 exclusive? Whatever. So, yeah. You pulled up another one.
I pulled up another one. I pulled up the Xbox one, which was, back when the Switch launched. Same with the State of Play.
Yeah.
I've got those both up, but, we already talked about Outer Worlds 2.
We did.
I don't know if we need to belabor the point there, but we could just blast through some of the other high points. Black Ops 7.
Dog, the fact that they used Black Ops 7 as a stinger for the entire presentation was like... a lot of people were like, are you kidding? And I usually don't, match that. But this time I did, thinking Black Ops 6 just came out.
Yeah.
What is it? How's it? Okay, let me back up. It looks cool. It looks like they're having fun with these games.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, dog, couldn't you wait in just another year? People are just... Black Ops 6 has not been out for longer than like 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels crazy to me to think about them getting a whole new game already. And is it going to be another $70 game? Like, or could it have just been an add-on for 6?
Right.
Like, it's probably going to be cool, but I can't really say there's much exciting about it because
it's almost like blatant wringing of the towel. It's like it almost reeks of desperation to a degree, where it's like we truly don't have much else. We just need to keep pumping these motherfuckers out because we bought them.
And the cadence used to be that you would get a Black Ops or something, and then you get a different game from one of the other
right. Like, yeah, you get the Infinity Ward game, and you get the whatever the fuck these, I forget what they're called.
You get Infinity Ward,
Treyarch,
and sometimes like a Raven Software game or whatever the fuck. I guess that's who's doing it. But it's just like,
yeah, Treyarch and Raven Software did Black Ops 7.
It's just like, man, Black Ops 7? Black Ops 6 sounded like too many.
I know. Can't they come up with a different like shtick?
Yeah.
Like just a different Call of Duty?
It could even be in the same narrative, but I think Black Ops, just calling it Black Ops is probably sells a lot of copies.
Yeah.
Huh? Like, I
mean, at that point, it's just like call it the year. Black Ops 2025. Yeah, just call it
exactly. But the funny thing is Black Ops 2 takes place in 2025.
That's really funny.
It's like, what do you do with that?
That's really funny.
With the SS Barack Obama being part of the narrative.
Then you just call it by the year that it takes place.
Sure, I'm fine. Or just
which they've kind of already done.
Just call it. You don't even need to put Call of Duty like as a big
front Battlefield that's done that.
Yeah, Battlefield has done that. But I don't know, man. I the games are going to be fun like they always are, but
yeah,
it's just not exciting enough to say. What would have made that exciting is if they told you where you could play it, like where it would be, and there was some kind of new twist on that.
Right.
Being it's on everything, including PS4 and Xbox One still somehow.
Right.
Or it's not on those, and we can take advantage of the power of
something about the
modern
platform.
Hardware.
Yeah.
Just something, some reason
kind of differentiator.
To think like, why would I play this over
the game I just bought?
Or why would I bother buying 6 now when I could just wait for 7?
Right.
You know? I don't know. But yeah, there was other shit going on there.
Ninja Goddamn 4.
Ninja Goddamn 4. Ninja Gaiden 4, that's going to be tight as shit. There's not really much to say about that. Platinum Games.
Where's the demo?
Where is the demo?
Where's the goddamn demo? Didn't they also announce a 2D one? Ragebound or something?
Ragebound has already been announced.
Okay.
But there was a demo that came out during the Summer Game Fest.
That's right.
The demo was fun. It's got a mechanic I'm not particularly fond of, but maybe I'll get used to it as I play through the game. It's
Ninja Goddamn is having a goddamn moment.
Yeah, it is having a real one. Like for existing and being called for not being a reboot is nice. It's cool. It's just cool to see that 3 didn't end it, you know?
Right.
So what is that? I can't even
They got THPS 3 and 4 here showcased. Is it just the fact that they got BAM in there?
BAM got brought up, yeah.
It's funny.
That is funny. I hope he's doing all right. But
fingers crossed.
Yeah, for real. Grounded 2?
Grounded 2. I don't feel anything towards the Grounded games. Yeah, the Grounded franchise.
I like it as an idea. I haven't played the first one. It's cool that something
feels
like this can be a sequel, though.
It feels like, when people on the fucking internet go, "Oh, this game is a psyop." Nobody actually played this. Well, an industry plant game. Feels like an industry plant game.
It does kind of feel like it.
I feel like I keep seeing it advertised and like splattered on places.
But you don't.
But like I've never heard anyone talk about this game. I've never heard anyone mutter this game's name on the internet, in person, otherwise. When
it showed up, though, it seemed like people were excited about it. So maybe they're just playing it too. But I'm kidding. But some people played it. And people are excited about it. I'm not one of them, and I don't know.
I'm clearly so far removed from that ecosystem or that market or whatever it is. So I'm ignorant.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fine.
Gao Reloaded.
That's cool because if you
what is it? Is it
it's another remake
of the first
Gears of War 1. There was Gears of War Ultimate Edition that came out on Xbox One.
I'll be for real. I've never really played a Gears of War game.
So what's cool then is that this is coming out on PS5.
Okay.
Which means
that's a first.
That is a first. It's very strange that it's coming out
because that's like a clear first party IP type situation.
Like that's something you associate with the Xbox 360. You know? It's coming out on PS5. It's coming out on PC. And if you already own the game on PC or Xbox, if you already own Gears of War Ultimate Edition on PC or Xbox, then they'll send you a code. for an upgrade for just the game. It's not even just an upgrade. You get this game. They already sent me mine. I didn't even realize I had the game.
It's funny.
But so I have
go
Gears
play.
of War. I have the updated version when it comes out in August.
It's so weird, man. Xbox is so weird.
It is weird. I don't know how they make money.
Xbox is so weird.
Like
what is happening?
No idea.
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know if Xbox makes money, which is why I think
it might not.
That's what I'm saying. Which is why I think they're tilting into like Windows.
Yeah, it might be. They might be turning this into a play of Windows, of driving people and keeping people in the Windows ecosystem.
Exactly.
Like, I think they're scared of leaking that into Steam OS, into other operating systems for their PC computer video game consoles.
They want you to access Steam through Windows. Mm-hmm. They don't want you to access Game Pass through Steam OS.
Right.
And because it keeps you buying their operating system, it keeps you using theirs, and a lot of the tools that people use, that developers use, are still based in Windows.
Right.
Which then creates a situation where if you want to use the industry standard tools, you have Windows anyway.
I almost feel like it's got to be that, where they're almost treating it as a marketing expense for Windows.
Right. Exactly.
Because if you get people off Windows, you get people out of Microsoft. Period. Microsoft's got Microsoft Office. It's got the Edge browser, cutting edge.
With the Copilot AI that they're forcing you to use if you want to use fucking
what's funny about Copilot AI is they're also not doing very well on Copilot because every corporation just wants to use OpenAI.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Which I also don't really understand because Microsoft kind of sort of owns OpenAI too.
In some way, right?
Like they have a significant stake.
Yeah.
Like a partnership stake.
I don't know. Maybe the Copilot's not fucking catchy. It sounds too consumer than
I don't know. I don't fucking know anything, dude.
We can ask Ryan. It's all right.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle of the Order of Giants. Is this DLC?
It's DLC. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Good for them.
Not a sequel, just DLC for the game that already exists.
Good for them,
that seems appropriate.
How much is this upgrade price? Let me look at this. I clicked on it and it said join Game Pass. Interesting.
Everything is going to funnel you to do using Game Pass.
The digital I don't know. I have no idea.
34. What was that 34?
This is for digital premium upgrade.
Oh.
Which I guess it's hard to say because they keep including like whack shit with it.
Like other shit.
Digital art books and outfits. And it's like, is this the game? Is this the price I have to pay? I guess it is. But this is $70 to buy the game. Digital premium edition includes the DLC for $100.
Yeah.
And so it's like a $30 DLC. Okay. Which means it's probably meaty as shit. I think it's probably priced accurately in terms of what percentage of game it's adding. Like if it's adding 50% game, that's probably why they're pricing it that way.
So this is Machine Games, and when they were doing Wolfenstein, both times they were going to do DLC, just straight up DLC. One of them became its own game, The Old Blood. Mm-hmm. Buy it for me. No, I'm kidding. That became its own game, and then Young Bloods became its own game in regards to Wolfenstein 2. So if this is anything like that, this is going to have
probably basically just an entire game.
Yeah, the volume to call it. It might not be as big as the original game necessarily, but it still has the volume of content to be called,
right?
To be worth the price that they're asking for. So
that feels right. I mean, that'd be cool if they get to the point where they almost have their own Indiana Jones trilogy within the context of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like just a little bit of their own continuity to enjoy within within this video game.
Yep. Invincible Versus.
So my understanding is this game is being developed by former developers of the Killer Instinct reboot that came out on the Xbox One. Which sounds good to me.
Yeah.
The game looks a little janky, but I also am like, maybe this will just be this generation's fucking Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
This generation? Was that a whole generation ago?
Battle for the Grid came out on Xbox One and PS4.
I guess that's true.
Switch, but yeah. So this game feels like it'll be.
Is this $20 like that one?
I don't know. It'll probably not come out at full price.
I hope so.
But it's
got a lot of competition these days.
Right, exactly. And speaking of Arc System Works, there's the Marvel game that they're working on.
It felt pretty bad for them to have to announce that the day after.
Exactly.
This incredible flagship IP, beautiful pixel art, hand drawn type shit.
It wasn't pixel art.
Was it hand drawn?
It was not hand drawn. It's all 3D artwork.
It's just all vectored.
It's all 3D graphics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whatever. It looks good.
It does look good. I think it looks really. I think it looks really good. And it's crazy that Arc System Works is making a Marvel game because it does. I already mentioned this before, but it just doesn't have the baggage of Marvel versus Capcom. So all the characters can have new.
Yeah, they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah, everything can be different. It doesn't have to. It's not hamstrung by the way they were in MVC1 or X-Men: Children of the Atom or something.
Yeah, bunch of games I ain't heard of or know anything about.
Yeah.
Keeper,
I don't know anything about it. Elder Scrolls and Fallout, don't care about.
Clockwork Revolution.
Clockwork Revolution has that steampunk style that I don't like.
Yeah.
So not for me.
A lot of people like it.
I know. Plenty of people like it, but it's just not.
Resonance, is this a sequel to Plague Tale?
This is another Plague Tale game.
People like those games.
Yeah.
I'm happy for
It's cool that those have rode so long, you know?
The Blood of Dawnwalker.
Yeah.
Open world dark fantasy action RPG.
I mean,
it's funny that High on Life is getting a sequel.
High on Life 2 is interesting.
And you
because it's
skateboard.
Yeah. It's going to be without, what's his name?
The Rick and Morty guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
It looks different.
Rick and Morty is existing without that guy.
Yeah, like this doesn't have that like Rick and Morty art style that
it looks very different.
Yeah, it looks completely different outside of the guns being, having the personalities or whatever.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16 coming out on Xbox finally.
Good for them.
It should have been the case in the first place, honestly.
Persona 4 remake.
Persona 4, what was it called?
Revival.
Revival.
How do we feel about this?
I think that...
Have you played Persona 4?
I've played some of Persona 4. I haven't played all of it.
Originally for the PlayStation Vita.
PS2.
Oh, was it?
A PS2 game, yeah.
Not here, though.
Yeah. Here.
Really?
Yes, here.
Oh,
Persona 4 Golden.
That was PS Vita.
Yeah, it was a PS Vita game.
Okay.
And then, P3 Portable was a PSP game, and those two got re-released not that long ago.
Yep. On Steam, on Switch, and everything.
Switch, PS4, everything. They're available, and I appreciate that. So that if you want to play the games basically as they were, you can do that. But if you don't like the gameplay style or the visual style, the presentation of those games, then you can still get the narratives and the themes and everything with these remakes. So the remake of 3, there's a remake of 4.
Is Reload for 3 and this 4 Revival, are they just like the Persona 5 presentation slapped on these older games? Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say slapped on.
It
takes a lot of effort.
I'm being very crude here.
But this is another game in the R series now. Like Persona 5 Royal, and then P5 Reload.
Yeah, it's like
Reload,
they do the
P4
same thing
Revival.
as the Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah.
They do a reword.
Yeah.
A reword.
Well, they do an R word. That doesn't sound good.
The rewords. Revival, Reload,
It's Royal.
Persona 5 is Royal. Royal's the only one that's not.
Because it's not a remake. It's just a
Re-Royal.
It's a re-release.
Re-Royal.
Okay. I'm not talking to you anymore. But, yeah. And then, what's it called?
Remake is coming to Xbox as
Remake is coming to everything. Yeah.
Switch 2
and
later this
Xbox.
year.
Yep.
This one was funny. Beast of Reincarnation by Game Freak.
Game Freak, yeah. It's one of those Game Freak games where like, fuck you, Nintendo. We're going to make something that we want to make. And that's what this is.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I still haven't seen evidence that they're actually like good at developing games. Like it's easy to blame Nintendo being like, go make us a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or like the Pokemon company for being like, we have to churn shit out once a year. But like they've made other games.
Yeah, they made Harmonite.
They made Town.
Yeah.
They made Harmonite. That
game was completely... What was it? You mean Little Town Hero?
Wasn't it just called Town?
No.
Oh.
What was that?
I don't know. I think it was the air filter.
Oh, I'm better
for some reason.
Air filter because I'm going to kill something otherwise.
They made Pocket Jockey, which I liked.
They did make, people love Pocket Jockey.
Okay, but here's the thing about Pocket Jockey.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate, like, I'm just wasting time
waster game.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, I haven't seen them make a game like an app killing game. You know what I mean? Well, besides Pokemon.
What about Tembo the Badass Elephant?
What the fuck did you just call me?
Look it up. Tembo the Badass Elephant.
I believe you.
Came out on everything except Nintendo consoles. That's the situation we're in now too.
This isn't coming out on it's coming out on PlayStation too.
Tempo? It's not coming out. It's already out. Oh, Beast of... it's probably... Maybe,
am I spelling this wrong? Is it N or M?
Tembo.
Oh,
Tembo.
Tembo.
The badass elephant.
Are you leaking memories?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. Yeah. 2015? His art style is kind of ugly.
But it's different, though.
Sure, but it's also... not that I put a huge stake into reviews, but Steam 7 out of 10, Metacritic 72%, IGN 7 out of 10.
That's still something. It's something it's something. Pokemon that's got at least.
Okay, let me refine what I was saying.
Okay, go ahead.
I haven't seen them make anything exciting.
Okay, fine. All right. You didn't like Harmonite?
It was fine. It was a completely fine thing that I could have been fine not touching either.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll see how the new Juggalette game is.
Is that Beast of Reincarnation?
Yeah, Beast of Reincarnation.
That's a Juggalette game?
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
All right, A Fate's End.
I don't know.
Fate's End.
I honestly can't remember what the fuck that was when I saw it.
Well, then we're skipping right fucking past it. Aphelion?
I don't know what that is either.
Skipping past it. Anime game. Animo. This is the next Pal World.
Pal World situation. Why the fuck did they name it something so close to Amiibo too?
You know why? You know why?
Absolute.
They did that shit on purpose.
Dude. This looks like this isn't from Pocket Pair, is it?
No, it's a different company for sure. It's it looks like an AI game.
Yeah, it looks like
it looks complete. Does look like a Paw Print Studio as opposed to Pocket Pal. Dog, this is the next level of the world that we're in. This is the next phase of life that you're looking at right
stuff
here.
Stuff like this getting attention in these presentations is in my opinion is kind of sloppy. Like I want smaller games to get attention, but not like this. Not like this. Like this just
this looks identical to Pal World, dude.
Well, let me see.
At least the presentation is like the gameplay is probably different or whatever. But.
Yeah, the gameplay is different. Just like the idea of these monster collect. Well, you transform into monsters, right? It looks nice. The frame rate's kind of booty cheeks sometimes, but it looks nice.
Yeah, the art style is nicer than Pal World was, which was very flat.
Like this is nice and colorful and
yeah.
Like this will probably be a game for somebody.
Yeah.
But it ain't me. This looks like it has that mobile like Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
It has a Genshin Impact kind of feel.
It has a Genshin Impact style UI.
If you fuck that up, then
speaking
no
of, I mean, your game. Genshin is making one of these.
They're making their own.
They're making their own monster collector.
Well, then
is just gonna completely nuke that market for everyone.
For some reason,
once Genshin, what's their fucking name? Hoyoverse.
Yeah.
Once they get their hooks into something, that's just like it absorbs. It is a black hole void of where people put their money.
Right, exactly. Their time and their money go into that. Especially like these games.
Especially like that person posting on Reddit, they like broke up with their significant other over spending too much money and trying to roll a fucking character.
That's so hellish.
Many such cases.
Yeah.
Planet of Lana 2. Super Meat Boy 3D was funny.
3D is interesting. It's like taking it's like how Super Meat Boy, it was like, oh, this is like Super Mario Brothers, but super fucking hardcore. This trailer even leaves with the Mario pipe.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I think the idea of a Super Meat Boy in a pseudo 3D, well, it's 3D, but it's like Mario World.
It's the 3D
Mario
world.
3D World,
yeah.
Sounds pretty fucking miserable to me. Like Super Meat Boy works because it's like simple control scheme that they then throw a lot of shit at you. With this, like as soon as you go 3D with something like this, you're now adding so many dimensions, it's like beyond the third dimension.
Yeah, there's like literal degree.
Right.
You're adding.
You have to now think about where you're like. The fact you have to think about where you're landing with the shadow and all that shit, like instantly turns me off of wanting to do something like quote hardcore.
Yeah.
Because that element right there can be so fucking frustrating and under the wrong circumstances.
It's a problem Crash 4 had. Like with
people
complain about it being too hard, and then that game has the shadow that is bright yellow, so you can find where you are. I think this game will probably be easier than 2D games because it'll have no choice but to be.
Or it could just be miserable.
If it's miserable, then it's fucked. Then it's done. But I think they might have the sense to be like, this is a difficult game, but it doesn't feel insurmountable in 3D. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm past the point of needing to touch that game.
Yeah, fair.
I played Super Meat Boy in college.
Yeah.
And I grinded the shit out of it and I 100%ed it. And I had fun, but I was also like grinding through college. Like, I don't know, I just have such a specific, it was such a specific time in my life that it was like the stars aligned with me playing that kind of a game and enjoying it.
Yeah.
That I'm never going to be at that point in my life again.
Especially with
Celeste to me is where these kinds of games have gone to feel good and still be hard.
Yeah.
Like, I think just the presentation and like identity of Super Meat Boy and what he's all about is just like, it doesn't really have a place in 2025.
It feels a little too, does it feel juvenile?
It feels juvenile. It feels antiquated as like, because the whole thing with Super Meat Boy again is like, you know, you look at all the like crossovers with like fan games, like I Want to Be the Guy and stuff like that. Like Kaizo Mario was getting super popular on the ROM hacks of Super Mario World.
Yeah.
But like all of those have kind of like evolved, you know, from where they were at that point in time of being like the gritty underground upstart developer just making hard levels for the fuck of it.
Right.
We're at a more refined point in everyone's lives and in game design.
And this does still have a little bit of that like Newgrounds era
congregate
Flash game it doesn't look like a Flash game, but it does still have a little bit of that stank on it because that's where it originated.
Right.
So not that I can blame. I can't. Really blame
I think I would be more willing to try this game if it actually was just not Super Meat Boy. If it was like this is a Team Meat game, but and it's a 3D game, but it's like it's just not Super Meat Boy. Even if it was called like not Super Meat Boy and it was like a different character,
Super Meat Boy,
like it probably would like make more sense to me.
Yeah, they could have just made this a Bandage Girl game.
Yeah, even that would be more like enticing to like give my time and attention to.
I think like I still stand by. I think the game will be fun enough. It's not something I would probably buy, but when I think of anything with Microsoft, it's all fucking Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like I will pop a month of Game Pass to try some of these games.
Right.
Which is what I guess is what they want you to feel. I don't know. But yeah. So what was next? Was that it?
That was other than the ROG Ally showcase.
Did we already talk about that?
We talked about it from the leak, but tell me about what they said in the presentation.
In the presentation, it's an ROG Ally. It'll have they're working on tweaking Windows 11 to be more conducive to games, and when you use it on like handheld devices and things like that, it will turn off everything that isn't related to video games, which is a good idea. And I think I could handle getting that on my desktop PC in some form where like it already has a game mode that kind of does that, but I'd like something that really leans into that when I'm playing games, Steam or otherwise. And this device lets you use games from all the different storefronts and whatnot. But it is an ROG Ally in the end. The X specific, like there's going to be a higher tier one and then a lower tier one, and they both cost different amounts.
Dude, it's so interesting that out the gate they're doing that. Like, as you were saying, I think there's such an explicit reason why Nintendo didn't do an OLED model out the gate.
Yeah,
and this feels like they're doing the opposite. Like, I think the Wii U is actually part of the reason why they learned their lesson from that.
From doing that,
it's like 2 models is fucked. 2 models, you're skewering yourself in terms of telling people what to do.
And even Nintendo of America was like, "Hey, fuck the smaller 3DS XL or new 3DS XL. Fuck the smaller new 3DS."
Oh yeah,
we're only like on the normal typical basis, we only have the new 3DS XL here, and then all the small like the normal ones that were just readily available in Japan. Those are like special edition here. And I think this device is for the enthusiast that already buys these handhelds anyway.
Yeah.
which I don't know how big that market is. I do.
I don't think it's that big.
Like, I don't think in comparison to like the entire rest of the gaming sphere, I think the people that buy these buy a lot of them, but
it's also
people buying
it's also such like unfortunate, unlucky timing that this is coming out like right after we're seeing these news articles and these videos of like, oh, SteamOS literally runs these games better and with better battery life.
Yeah.
Like the games are running faster with higher graphical fidelity and better battery life simply by running them on SteamOS
on the same handheld.
Which is so like, and then you come out and be like, here's a handheld where you only get to use Windows.
And, but it's good Windows. It's Windows specifically for games, right? Which is like I want to see how it turns out, especially with having access to all the other marketplaces on the same UI.
That's true.
Like
that's true.
On an Xbox endorsed.
I still think they should have leaned in more into their Windows Phone. I like the Windows Phone. I like the UI of it. It was unique. It had an identity.
Yeah,
it was modular.
Were people buying it?
No.
I think that's
the issue. Should have leaned in harder.
Tried to zoom even harder.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you look at what's happening with phones these days. I think I almost wonder if they were just too early because it's so clear that iPhones have stagnated.
Yeah,
like basically since Steve Jobs died.
Right,
the iPhone is stagnant in terms of its innovation. So like now would have been the time to come up with something like new, cheaper, interesting, modular, like whatever.
For some reason, it seems like now they can't like outside of like productivity software. I guess they can't capture anyone with the names of the branding of their products. Like Xbox had a generation where it was the number one like hard, high definition console.
Yeah,
and then just after that, no one cared. The Windows Phone and all that. I feel like people associate Microsoft stuff with something they don't want with like their entertainment product.
Yeah.
So they end up just like faltering, and then Microsoft does something that fucks it up even more somehow.
They got a weird
marketing wise. I don't mean
they got a weird brand image issue.
Because like Game Pass is cool. The Xbox Series X is actually a good console for real. It's just nobody wants it for some reason.
I think the naming is a big part of it.
Yeah, but it probably has a lot to do with the naming.
The way it just looks is boring. I'm not saying that boring is without value. I'm just saying that it doesn't make people want to have it. You know what I mean?
That's true. And it
doesn't scream at you in any kind of way at all. It's just sitting there.
Their backward compatibility is great. There's a lot of good stuff that Microsoft is doing and that people beg for. But I think people also are fucking liars and they don't actually want it. They don't want that good shit.
I think you're right.
For some reason,
human nature is not to do that shit. They're loud and people will scream about something and then turn around and pay full price for it.
Yeah, it's
whatever
just like,
it is.
I don't understand okay, let me back up. I do understand why people do that. It's like they just don't. They say one thing. They say they want one thing, and then there's something that offers that, but it's like, wait a minute, but it's from you. I don't want it now, and it's just. It's one of those things where I'm going to say it right now. Gamers specifically, but even in every other industry, often perpetuate the shit they don't like in that thing while trying to tell you what they do want, but they don't actually spend the money on it. They just want to have that. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But even though I did just say I understand, I don't understand. Yeah, don't be miserable. Don't be helpless. Have fun. But in the end, I think once Microsoft shows off Perfect Dark again, I'll be excited about their output.
Someday.
For real. Yeah, I'm ready to play it on my PC computer. I'm ready to see it.
Whenever it comes
Perfect
out.
Dark be on PS5. That'll be cool as shit.
Are you going to replay the 360 Perfect Dark for it?
No.
Why not?
There's no point.
Why? Not a real fan.
I mean, okay, let me back up. I'm going to tell you something right now, though. Because I have an AMD GPU now, the 360 version works properly on my PC. So I could just do it there.
There you go.
MVC2 works properly there, too. And I know you all don't believe shit, but those games are ripped directly from an Xbox using my downloaded games. So fuck off before you say, "Oh, you downloaded ROMs."
stealer, pirate.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it right. Baby.
Cheater, illegal.
illegal, ice. But yeah, no. So did we already talk a state of play?
No, we didn't.
We tried to, but I think we were already on something else.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a lot here.
Yeah.
We could maybe hold this one.
Yeah, we'll hold it. Well, we can hold that one more time because we do have someone that wants ice cream.
Did we want to talk about Switch things, or did it just kind of kill it for now?
I'm just the only.
There's two things that I think are worth talking. Yeah,
I think that'll get its own day.
There's two things that are worth talking about.
Yeah, go ahead. Like just bring them up. We'll actually talk about
the screen.
Yeah,
we should talk about the discourse around the screen specifically, and Mario Kart World, the latest update,
the little update that came out a couple of days ago. I can give you a quick summary of my feelings of the Mario Kart update.
All right, let's do the Mario Kart. We'll call it.
All right. Have you tried it since it came out? Since the little update?
I actually haven't played it in like a week, so I've just been grinding away at
Cyberpunk. I see that. Yeah. So for me, I know it's going to say, well, for you, the update didn't change the way I play the game. I like the intermission tracks.
I like the intermission tracks too.
When I get a track that's just the 3 laps, I'm sometimes like, oh wait, what the fuck? that was we were only doing the track. Clearly the design of the game was for the intermission tracks.
Yeah.
And they wanted to preserve that, even though preserve the integrity of their design rather than bend to the
gamer
say
will.
That they want.
Yeah.
And really, I think the people that are complaining about the 3-lap situation are really just like fucking content creators that really aren't happy with getting used to a new game after playing Mario Kart 8 for 10 years. And like, I like the 3-lap tracks, but they're still there. I think updating it so they're less common when you pick random is.
I think the update in and of itself is completely fine.
Yeah.
I agree with everything that you said.
Yeah.
I do think philosophically.
Yeah.
I think the tracks themselves are so good.
Yeah.
And unique and interesting that like only 2 laps. I kind of wish I had that 3rd lap.
I understand that.
Like
too.
I think it would make sense if they had like a classic mode.
Yeah.
That you could queue up for. I think the knockout tour, like you can get your taste of all the intermission tracks and the way it all connects.
And people love knockout tour apparently.
Yeah, I actually prefer knockout tour to the regular classic races,
like versus racing,
specifically because of the whole the tryhards. You know what I mean? Like I think the tryhards just inherently make things less fun for me because I'm never gonna fucking grind this game away.
Yeah,
and knockout tour is like interesting enough, random enough. If I get knocked out, I just start again. It's not like I'm just kind of suffering with the same people over and over.
Yeah, you don't end up suffering with that one dude that knows every single shortcut perfectly.
Yeah, and so knockout tour kind of solves all those problems for me, and it's like it matches the identity of the game, right? So I think knockout tour is the more interesting mode.
Yeah.
And if you wanted sort of a classic experience, I think it's fair to wish that the classic experience had classic 3-lap races.
So I think that's fine. I also think I don't. People are like, oh, put a third fucking not a third, like a 4th set of ranking points in another mode because I already have 3. It's knockout tour, versus race, and battle.
Right.
All have their own ranking whatevers. I don't think they're gonna do that. Okay. So let me say,
I don't think they're gonna do that either. I think it's fair for the races.
Yeah.
For people, I can understand normal people wishing the races were just 3-lap tracks.
Yeah.
Because like Boo Cinema, right? I kind of wish I could just do 3 laps on Boo Cinema.
Yeah.
Boo Cinema is cool.
Boo Cinema is really cool.
I don't really need the highway portion leading up to Boo Cinema.
But see, I like the boardwalk. I like driving.
I think the boardwalk's great. I understand that has its own personality, but I think that's what the knockout tour is for. I think that's what that appreciation is for.
So I'm thinking there's 2 ways they could do this. They could do it like F-Zero 99, where every so often there's just like a classic.
Oh, like a different mode that like replaces it.
It just is, you just do get.
It's like
mode.
Top of the hour every hour.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting, and it uses the same ranking points.
Yeah, or you just kind of have to accept that you're not going to play it like this with randoms exclusively, and allow there to be publicly accessible lobbies
I think
where
they're
you
never
can
going to
set
do
those
that.
rules. They might not do that, but like Smash has that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
thinking
other
of
games have
Smash,
that.
somebody made a recommendation that I also thought made sense, where you just have like for fun and for glory.
Yeah, I've seen that.
For fun has
too.
has just like all the anything goes type situation, and then for glory is always just the classic. That feels like something they could do, and then that way that keeps the points, and then the regular races are just for regular races.
But I also heard somebody complain about it, like it's like saying this as if it's not completely true, that they want Mario Kart to be like Mario Party, and I was like, yeah, they
want Smash to be like Mario Party too.
That was the whole point. That's the whole point, especially
it is a very like, they took out wave dashing type of a complaint.
That it is, yeah.
But I even just as a normal person, I think the individual tracks are so well designed, like they're so cool and interesting that I almost like lose some of the identity of them because it doesn't start at the starting line.
It's not at the starting
line. Like I mentally can't like place what the track is. You know what I mean? Because it always sort of starts outside of it.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I feel like the really cool tracks, as they are, kind of lose their identity a little bit because of that.
See, I like for me, I like the lead up into the track and then finishing in the track, rather than like doing a knockout tour style where I just kind of go through it. Because I like getting up to Choco Mountain and then hearing the music go off. I really like that shit. Wario Stadium.
Both of that happens in the races though too.
That's what I'm saying. Like it happens in the races, but I do like the intermission up to it. And what they could do is have I don't know, maybe provide a shorter route.
Just a shorter intermission.
Just a shorter intermission for certain situations. So you get the intermission, and then you get a couple laps.
I mean, that's kind of interesting too, right? As if the intermission was literally just like a 15-second section.
Yeah,
right before just a rolling themed start kind
of thing.
Yeah, just the themed section of the start. Yeah, rolling start.
There's a lot they could do with it. Like I don't mind the way it is now, and I do understand people's complaint. I think people are complaining too much. Yeah. I think they're like being. I think they're being whiny about it. I should say.
I think the game is unplayable. The game is dead. The game is terrible. It's now from a 9.5 to a 6.
Yeah, I saw that dumb shit. It's like, oh yeah, in fact, we posted that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all that. I think even the people saying the free roam is empty. I'm like,
the free roam is not empty. Anybody saying the free roam is empty is actually just like
not huffing some shit. To enjoy it. I will open it thinking I'll just sit in it for a couple of minutes, and then like my entire session is occupied by me. Like
I think it would be cool for them to add like a little like when you go to the gas station, you buy a map of the region type thing, map that you could open in your app. Yeah. I think that would be good if they add after the fact. I'm fine with it launching without it.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to like explore natively, organically, and not know how much stuff is out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it'd be cool for them to add some kind of a map capability down the road, though.
Right, but like a full map, not just the weird like overhead mapping.
Right.
But yeah, I think Mario Kart World is going to get a lot more content. I don't think this is the end of it.
Yeah.
So I also think it might be one of the shorter run Mario Kart games compared to its run will probably be shorter than Mario Kart 8 was, because Mario Kart 8 spanned 2 consoles, almost 3 if people continue to play it from here. But
13 years. There's no chance Mario Kart
13.
12 to
it came out in 2014.
Oh fuck.
11 years. Yeah.
11 years.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It hasn't been that long yet. No. But
I'm just thinking about the Wii U at launch.
Yeah. But okay, so that's the thing about that. But the screen stuff, I do want to give its own time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Especially since I've been fucking with HDR and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, you need to tell me about all your
watching all the videos and whatnot.
I have also done a lot of that over the course of time, so I'm curious to see what you learned and how it matches up.
And we probably should. I'm probably going to talk to you a little bit about it after we stop recording right now, and we'll just talk about it in full later.
Right.
But yeah, I'll just tell you how I feel about it when we get to it.
You don't want to tell me right now?
I mean, my main conclusion is that everybody has a different idea of how HDR should work, and because of the tools Nintendo offers you, everyone has a different opinion on what is right, but there isn't a right yet, because HDR, despite being around for at least
I think
a decade,
there's a truth to that. I think
it's like you just kind of just make
on that specific comment before we put a pin in it.
Yeah,
I think there is there is a sort of color correctness that has an effect on HDR.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's real. I think if you look at the way an iPhone is calibrated and doesn't really let you fuck with it, like there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? There's the brightness levels and all that stuff. I think I think the rightness is a spectrum rather than a binary.
Yeah, exactly. There's not one correct.
Yeah. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
It's hard when TVs have such different luminance.
Yeah.
And so many different ways of applying luminance with dynamic tone mapping and things like that.
And then through watching videos, I find out that all the different manufacturers have different philosophies when it comes to how to implement shit like this. Like TCL thinks people don't care about accuracy, they care about brightness and pop.
Right.
So even if they have like HDIG on their fucking system, it's still gonna kind of blow out the highlights because that's what they think people want.
Right.
Like some TVs, their dynamic tone mapping really is like off instead of just being static.
Right.
Some of it is like some of them look better. I've seen people say to use dynamic tone mapping,
similar to how I feel about just general review sites.
Yeah.
I prefer just like general, more objective analysis of what features do, and just general guidelines for like recommendations and how it affects colors.
Exactly.
I think that's really useful. And I also think, similar to reviews, you got to find someone you trust. You got to find a content creator, not necessarily content creator, but like a online specialist that like this is what they live and breathe, maybe for your brand or something. Like I found an LG guy who's just like die hard. He has like spent hours and hours and hours testing every little minutia type feature to understand how. What
was this dude's name again?
Paolo.
Yeah, Paolo. It's spelled with a 4.
Yeah, 4 and a 0.
Yeah.
And he says kind of the same thing that you were saying, which is like he doesn't necessarily recommend or not recommend dynamic tone mapping, but he says if you use dynamic tone mapping, apply these settings. If you don't use dynamic tone because you don't like it, do these things instead. Yeah. And I think that's always an interesting thing to perceive.
It's like we're kind of getting into it anyway. We'll cut it in a second. I think it's one of those things where Nintendo, with their settings, tried to make it as easy for the consumer to do as possible, but in doing so, they removed a lot of the finer details of actually setting it up. So if you know what's supposed to be right, you have to like.
They unfortunately got into a game that they're not familiar with.
Yeah,
they got into a game that they're new to. Yeah.
And in doing so, I hope at least with the next with a firmware update at some point, you'll be able to bring up fix some of those issues and be able to display some numbers about what the system thinks your TV is outputting. Because you can get those numbers from Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk will show you what, like, based on what your settings are on the Switch. Cyberpunk will tell you the numbers.
That's right.
To set up HDR, which is why Cyberpunk can look so good. Via HDR, and it's a lot of the time it's the implementation on the software and all that. Like HDR in a movie, it's set.
That's right. You get it's a static image. You know what you're going to expect.
There's no deviation that needs to happen.
There's no angles. There's no going in and out of things. Like the brightness doesn't change.
Like it's all metadata. It's all set for each frame. And most TVs nowadays have like the IMAX settings with the Dolby Vision or
straight up
HDR 10 or 10 plus.
I'm going to be real with you. A lot of TVs now kind of rely on AI to do a lot of this shit.
I know I think that's just how it's.
It's where it's going to be. Yeah.
Like
a lot of it too is going to come down to your environment. Like how much light do you have in your room? How much light is
in the environment? How much light what's the luminance that they tell you your TV is supposed to have, but what does it actually take and then turn into, like, convert to something? Is there a fall off? There's so many little things that without just a complete even standard, not being able to see the numbers, looking up how to do this thing is going to be difficult because, like I said, I've seen people that have information that they're all like dedicated to the same idea, but they have completely different ways of getting to a result. And in the end, it ends up being like what feels the best to you. Yeah. Which is completely fine, but that is one of those things where it feels like you don't know if you're missing something. Like I find myself adjusting the settings literally every time I turn my Switch on because that's just how I am. Like every time I'm like, let me turn this up a couple of notches.
And that goes back to my point, which is like everyone is going to sleep better if you just kind of find somebody that you trust, that you just follow their settings.
It's
like you find a guy who's like, hey, FYI, for your brand of TV, I found the best thing.
Yeah.
Throw it in.
Do it like this, and if it looks good, then
it's like, you know what? Based on all the information you've given and the explanations you've given for why you set these settings, I trust you. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna touch it. Yeah. We're all good.
And that's become difficult for me to do because I'll basically have an amalgam of what everybody said, which the funniest fucking part is what that ended up being was just the defaults, almost what you do from the beginning. I turned the brightness down like a couple of notches. I set it right in like 9 notches up. But it's just like, holy shit! It all of this information I took in just to do what I was doing in the first place.
It came back, restarted.
But and like I said, it depends on the games too, because Mario Kart looks one way, but then like Tears of the Kingdom will look another way, and you're like, oh, is it missing contrast? No, it's just the way the game is.
Yeah.
The UI in one game will have a different different. It'll handle the paper white setting differently than another game. Like, oh, it might look gray here, but it looks bright here.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna fucking kill yourself
if you look for
look for the best.
If you look for the best perfect for everything, you're gonna hurt yourself. You need to find good enough, and that's what That's what a lot of people need to do in their everyday lives.
It's a good analogy. Enough. It's a great analogy.
Once you find good enough and get comfortable with good enough, then if you find something better, great. But you won't be yearning for it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like we'll go into
specifics.
Like it'll basically be a month since we both had the console, and we can kind of talk about how we feel about things about it.
Yeah,
and then get to Donkey Kong 2 weeks after that.
Thank God.
Yeah,
I need that shit locked into my brain ASAP. I do have a higher fans.
Go ahead.
All right, Scilab Secrets is a preservation group. They found a way to. I don't know how they did this. I think they found somebody's phone or something that had this installed. But basically what they did is they took 2 games that people thought were lost to time. Mm-hmm. They're both Mega Man Battle Network games that were for the mobile phone in Japan only.
Yeah.
Mega Man Phantom of the Network that came out in 2004 and Mega Man Legend of the Network that came out in 2006.
Okay.
They both have English patches. They're both playable on PC computer and on Steam Deck and shit like that now.
Okay.
They're full fucking games. They got full battle systems, unique bosses, unique stories, all that shit. They added the Buster Max mode like the Legacy Collection has if you just want to fly through the game. They've added ways to get all the chips because normally you had to do like all the mobile phone shit.
Yeah.
They've added online ranked versus virus battling. Restored the animated backgrounds from the Easy Web version of Legend of the Network.
Like a certain
they
phone OS version of it.
They did some crazy shit to get these games running. The first one from 2004 took place right after the events of Battle Network 3. The other one took place right before the events of Battle Network 6.
Okay.
So they are like canon and shit like that. They've got fucking Hat Man and all sorts of weird, wacky dudes. So I think that's cool. I think it's cool shit to find lost media and make it available and translate it.
Yeah.
I think that's some good work.
That's cool. That's something that I would hire somebody over because the what's it called? That's basically how the second Silver Case game, the 25th Ward function, that came out on modern platforms. I mean, obviously it's an official release, but that was a phone game.
Yeah.
And all the conversion was done to modernize it so you could play it on machines now and have a comfortable experience with it. On top of having stuff added to it, like references to No More Heroes 3 that didn't come out yet. There's that, and there's like things that other Grasshopper games did for the sake of their interact, like the navigation in some places looks like Killer 7's, and it's like, oh, okay, so they did things to this so it feels good on a controller and not on a fucking phone keypad. It looks good, but all the content's here.
Exactly.
That's the kind of thing we need to have done for the sake of preservation.
When people talk about preservation,
yeah. So
restoring online battling was pretty crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. I'd be like, hey, let's restore some other shit. Let's find some other games that were released on a phone.
It's cool. It's good.
Real, like the weird Katamari game that came out that's kind of shitty Pac-Man.
Oh yeah.
But okay.
So, all right, let's wrap it up. Shoot us an email at memoryleakpodcast@gmail.com. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Send us a carrier pigeon. We're at memoryleakpodcast@gmail.com. I already said that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube. Until next time.
Damn.
Little Diglett.
This dude did the re-snap. All right.